What's up, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of We Are the Bonsai Supply. I am Jerome, and today we're going to work on this Dwarf Schefflera. So today we're going to work on this Dwarf Schefflera. We're going to defoliate it, we're going to repot it, and we're just going to bring it back into shape. And so for this job, of course, I had to call my assistant, and here she is. Where's my trusty assistant?
Here.
Oh! So this is my trusty assistant, and she's going to help me defoliate the entire canopy. So get right to it. Alright, so while she starts to defoliate the tree, I wanted to talk a little bit about the care of the tree. So this is probably one of the hardest trees to kill in bonsai. It likes a lot of sun, but it also tolerates well lower light, so like indoor, for instance, by a window, they do really well. They grow little red berries, and they also grow aerial roots, so you can make them look like a big banyan tree. So these trees are very, very hardy, and she's defoliating them. Okay, so you see how she takes this compound leaf, and she cuts right behind it. She's going to leave these stems for dieback purposes. Alright, so now that we've defoliated the tree, it is time to decide on the front of the tree. Now, one thing that this tree really has going for it is that it has two really interesting fronts. So this front has a really cool rock here in the front, and then the branches are really cool and very nicely placed, so they look like very old branches. Now on the other side, the trunk looks a little more massive to me on this side, and the branches are also very nicely placed. So this is going to be a tough decision, but at the same time, this is a very good problem to have. It's better to have two fronts on a tree versus two backs, right? So I've had this tree in my collection for around 4 to 5 years, maybe even a little longer than that. And when it first came to me, it was on the weaker side, so I had to spend a lot of time recovering the tree and making it very strong again. And the way that I did that was I put it into a much larger pot. I didn't repot it for about 2 years, and I just let the top grow uncontrollably. And then I just started trimming it and training the tree back into shape once the tree was healthy enough to do so. So today I feel like that the pot is getting a little too small for this tree. So I would like to put the tree into a pot that's a little longer, and I have a really nice pot in mind. So the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to do it a little different. We're going to repot it into the new pot first, because the new pot is a little longer pot, where this pot is a little more rounded, so the canopy is a little rounded as well. So putting it into a more narrower and longer pot might change the whole design. The reason why I would like to go a little longer is because I want to have more space here and on the other side for the aerial roots to hit into the soil, and that's going to give the tree so much more power and character. So we're also going to go ahead and, of course, trim the tree back into shape. And all of these green shoots that you see here, they are actually still very pliable. Once they turn this woody color, it's a little tougher to bend them, and they also break a lot easier. So all of these long shoots, we're going to have to train them and bend them into shape. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me go. Alright, so we just finished repotting this tree, and now we're going to go ahead and style it. So I'm going to go say goodbye to my help. So thank you very much. So, alright, so we chose the side that doesn't have a rock as a front because it looks much more powerful. Also, I removed a branch that came from the center here a while back, a couple years ago, and for a good reason, because it came right and hit you in the face. Where on this side, we have some really good back branches, so we're gonna leave this as a back and just go with this as the front. It looks a lot more open as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the tree back and then wire these new branches into position, and that should look pretty good. All right, so as I go through my tree and I remove all the branches that are either on the inside of the branch or that are facing straight down or straight up, I found a good example here. So this branch comes out like this, has great movement, comes up, and then there's a branch on the inside of the movement here. Do you see that? So this will be the outside, and then this is called the inside of the branch. So this I'm going to take out, because if I leave this branch here, potentially, or eventually, not potentially, I will lose the shape of this branch here. So that's why I remove the inside of the branch and just leave the outside. Now, one thing that these Hawaiian umbrellas have a lot is dieback, like this stump right here. So this stump, last time I cut it back to here, and now that this is completely dried off, I can go back and clean it up again, and this time I can cut it flush with the trunk, and then I don't have to worry about hurting the trunk at all. Here we are. So as I'm going through, I'm trying to wire two branches together. Yes?
Did you finish repotting the tree that we're gonna give my mom for Mother's Day?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's ready. It's just in the customer section over there. You won't see it. It's a little hidden. But yeah, I did it. Okay, so if you're like me and you completely forgot about Mother's Day, here's your chance, okay? So on the website right now, we offer 15% off if you type in Mother's Day at the checkout. Flowers, they last for a couple days, but bonsai trees, they last for a lifetime. So here's your chance to make up for it, okay? So as I was saying, as I wire the tree, I'm gonna go ahead and I remove all the dead stuff, but I'm trying to wire always two branches together so I get that good anchoring point. So now before I start styling, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the tree. So now that I finished wiring the entire tree, I'm going to have to go ahead and place the branches. So you may have noticed that I just go ahead and wire the entire tree, and then once I'm at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and wire the entire tree in one go. So the way that I place the branches is that, so for instance, this branch over here is pretty straight, right? The movement stops right over here, so I have to continue the movement with the first branch. So I'm going to take a little closer to show you what that looks like. Alright, so this branch has a lot of movement. It comes out of the main trunk right here, it goes up, and then it comes this way, and then this way. So now, since this branch here is on the outside of the bend, I'm going to have to take this under consideration. So I'm going to go this way first to make more of a bend. I'm going to come back, and see now this branch has a lot more movement. And then this branch has to follow this movement. So I just go in first and then out. See? And now this branch has to follow the same movement as this branch. So I'm going to have to come over a little hard here. Do the bend, yeah. See, now this branch mimics the exact same movement as this branch. So I think this came out really good. I really do like how the tree now looks in this new pot. Once the aerial roots are starting to come down and hit the soil, this tree is going to look really, really powerful. So now I'm going to keep the tree in the shade for a couple of weeks until it starts to grow back, and then I'm going to move it right back out into the full sun. I'm going to water it every single day since we're in such a hot climate. You do want to make sure that you water it every day. so that they grow much better.
A lot better.
So this was it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to tune in next week. We're going to do a root over statue, and I'll catch you guys next time.